of you in the room, you understand the situation with our industry and where we're headed, and it's more important than ever that we get young people in to propel the industry forward. But we couldn't do that without standing on the shoulders of the mentors that all of you act as for those that are the next generation that's coming. So I would just say thank you for what you do. I would ask you to continue to bring young people in to your ecosystems and into your companies, and we can go forward together. Thank you all.
Today we are with Noah Drake from Telstra. Welcome to Digging into the Future here at the PTC, and we have the honor of actually speaking with the President of the Americas and one of the young up-and-coming key leaders here at PTC, involved with our PTC Beyond, but also is one of the key guys that's driving the industry, hopefully for the next few decades, as he's stepped into the very, very important role with one of our very, very important partners and one of the great leaders in the space today. So Noah, welcome.
Thanks, Bill. Not to be confused with the President of the United States, They're two different people. So it's good to be here.
So tell me about North America. Do you focus on, are you the enterprise plus the carriers? And I mean, do you have kind of the full gambit, or are you more focused on one segment of the market? I mean, it's sometimes when we've talked to Telstra, there's been sort of, sometimes it's, you're leaning towards wholesale or leaning towards retail. Where are you guys on the spectrum now?
I think it takes a healthy balance of both to be successful. So we definitely understand the importance of partnering and kind of selling our assets through that wholesale channel. But we also recognize that corporations are becoming more global in nature every day. And we want to serve those users directly as well where it makes sense for our network. So in the US, it's pretty much 50-50. And even Telstra International, it kind of leans that way as well. We basically say wherever there's opportunity and wherever we see a need, we're willing to serve that need regardless of what channel it takes.
And what kind of infrastructure do you have in North America, for example? So, do you have fiber? I mean, what's the? We know about your international assets, but what do you actually have on the ground in the United States?
So we do have fiber. I mean, most of it is partnering with the U.S. carriers. We see ourselves as a gateway to Asia, particularly off the West Coast.
Yep.
But we're not just doing Asia now. We just announced our expansion into Latin America. So we built gateways in Miami and Dallas, and we're hoping to be able to serve that need. That market, if you combine all 6 markets, it's about the same size as Germany as from a GDP perspective. And if you just look at like Brazil and Mexico, they're about the size of Australia, our home market from a GDP perspective. So we see with the need and kind of the legacy infrastructure there, we see a massive opportunity for us connecting that to Asia and also serving the business coming from Asia, investing into Latin America. So that's a big one for us. And then we we partner to access the infrastructure within the U.S. to help make that a reality. Most of it, though, Bill, is through partnering with the U.S. carriers.
As we start thinking about what does it look like in North America over the next 2-3 years as you start to build this thing?
I truly believe that as the specific needs of the users of our technology become more and more refined, you're going to be more focused on what that end customer needs, how they do business, and it may look very different than a different industry. So the verticals that we're really looking at right now from a US and kind of North America perspective are number one, serving the US government. Pretty pertinent right now, especially where our assets are located. That's one very kind of interesting conversation that's going on. Number two, I touched on the satellite piece. I think that's going to fundamentally complement connectivity and understand and really close that digital divide, especially in emerging markets. And so we're very interested in that. The third one is around broadcast and media. And I'll spend a little bit of time on that because we're doing some innovation in that space. We just released our product that's called IDN. And that is a product that allows companies to do event production remotely using IP. And I think that is fundamentally changing the way that maybe some of these companies are looking at how they produce events. Now, we have sometimes right now they're complementing it with fixed connectivity in some instances, but we're seeing more and more people saying, hey, this is actually working, and we think we can slowly kind of unplug from that perspective. So that's one really interesting industry to us. We just announced a partnership with NHL, and so we do all of their international distribution. We also do their digital advertising. We help support that. So it's, the leagues are really picking it up, and I foresee that, knock on wood, to continue kind of across the other spaces in that industry as well.
Let's talk about PTC. What is PTC? One of the things that you're one of the young guys that has come along and to be honest, I came here as a young guy. I was in my 20s when I first came here. But how do you see PTC? Is this an important event? Is it an important spot for you to network? How do you see it?
Yeah, so from a Telstra perspective, it is the most important event of the year, right? I mean, this is where we have the most important conversations. This is where we get deals done. This is where we grow our pipeline. This is where we learn from our vendors and suppliers. So it is massive in that regard. From a personal development perspective, I see PTC as really the town square, right? I mean, this is where you come together, especially if you're a young professional. You understand, not only what are those open opportunities, where can I kind of hitch my ride or hitch my wagon to, but you also understand where is the industry going, what's top of mind for the leaders, because you get leaders from all over the world meeting here. I think it might be the Hilton that said like, Ohana, this is the meeting place, the global meeting place. And I think I really thought that resonated with me, because for us, we have people from all over the world that are now coming in for this 1 week. And I think that's a special kind of environment that you really can't get anywhere else.
And what can we do to, as we think about PTC, beyond into the future, what should it do to kind of keep that momentum going from your perspective?
I think it needs to stay visible. I think it needs to keep really strong relationships with those established companies, and then kind of marry that with the startup ecosystem, and then jointly kind of agree to provide opportunities to young people to get them here. There's a lot of, there's a certain level of austerity that maybe the global economy is taking or undertaking at a corporate level. And oftentimes you can say, okay, this person may not contribute a lot of direct value by being at the conference because they're not closing the deal per se. But if you never give them an opportunity, you'll never be able to see their ceiling or how high they can rise. If I was never given an opportunity to come here and even meet when you were CEO and come into some of your meetings, I wouldn't have been able to have the perspective that I took back as I grew my own team and my own career. So for us, it's something that is near and dear to our heart. We will always provide our people an opportunity to come here. And I would just ask that other kind of large established companies do the same.
Thank you, Noah, for joining us on Digging into the Future, and have a great 2024.
Thanks, Bill. Looking forward to a great year. I appreciate it.